We acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Blackfoot Confederacy and the people of Treaty 7 in southern Alberta. We also acknowledge the homeland of the Metis people. September 30th is Orange Shirt Day and National Truth and Reconciliation Day. The First Nations, Metis and Inuit education team have made a short video to explain the importance of this day and what it means to us. Orange Shirt Day began with the St. Joseph Mission Residential School Commemoration Project in May 2013. Events took place in Williams Lake, BC to remember the residential school, understand the truth, and honour the healing journey of survivors and their families. Phyllis Webstat is a residential school survivor. She told the story of her first day of residential school when she was 6 years old. Phyllis was wearing a shiny new orange shirt that her grandmother brought her. It was taken away on her first day of residential school and she never saw it again. Orange Shirt Day was created from the events that took place in Williams Lake, BC, and the story that Phyllis shared about her orange shirt. September 30th was chosen because it was around this time when First Nations children were taken from their homes and families to be sent away to residential school. On Orange Shirt Day, we wear orange shirts because of Phyllis's story and to honour and remember all of the things that were taken away from residential school students and their families. We remember that every child matters.
Hi, I'm Daryl. I'm glad to be here to talk to you today about Orange Shirt Day and what it means to us as Indigenous people of Canada. When I think about Orange Shirt Day and what it means, for me personally, I think about all our people that went to residential school that were forced under the Indian Act, and that was passed by the federal government well over 150 years ago. So the children were forced to go to residential school and parents had no choice. So they had to send their kids from their residence, wherever they lived, to sometimes a far away location to go to residential school. They were taken to residential school for 10 months of the year, or in some cases for years before they returned home.
Residential schools operated in Canada from the 1800s to the 1990s. The last residential school to close was called the Gordon Residential School, which closed in Saskatchewan in 1996.
The impact of residential school is still in effect to today. When I think about what it means for me and the impact that it had upon my family or my people back home, I think about all the heartache and the sadness of what it meant to be taken away from your family, to be ripped out of your cultural setting and to lose most of your culture or lose most of your language. And how that felt for us, to feel ashamed of who you are and where you came from. And how now in today's world we're trying to make amends, and how it's taken Canada and made us realize that we need to look at this and remember the students that went to residential school as well as the ones that didn't make it home. And I think about how many unmarked graves we're starting to find out at various residential schools across Canada. In June, Kamloops was a huge discovery of 215 and still counting. So I think about what did it mean for the families, for those people? What did it mean for us as Indigenous people to say, we've been saying that for years, and now Canada is listening. So I think today, when we think about Orange Shirt Day, also think about National Truth and Reconciliation Day, because we need to have the truth so we can reconcile, so we can come together as a nation, forge better relationships with each other, so we can be stronger as a country, and we can look at this and make sure that this doesn't ever happen again for anybody in our country.
This year, the federal government announced that September 30th would also mark the first National Day for Truth and Reconciliation in Canada. For a long time, the truth of residential school systems and what happened to Indigenous Canadians were hidden. The truth was not taught in schools and it was not shared fully with the public. The voices of residential school survivors were ignored or dismissed. That's why we are committed to hearing the truth now with open minds and open hearts. It is important that we all know the truth of what happened in Canada because it is Canadian history. It's not just an Indigenous issue, it's a Canadian issue. We must all know the truth so that we're able to move forward together. Reconciliation means fixing relationships. The relationship between Indigenous peoples and non-Indigenous peoples, particularly the government, has been damaged. Indigenous communities are still feeling the impacts of the residential school system today. It is important that we are all part of the process of reconciliation so that we can move forward together.
Hello everybody, I'm Shirley Boomer and I just want to talk to you about what I think of residential school. I know that when I heard about it, I was really shocked. It was very hard to hear about, that someone would think it was okay to mistreat people to that extent and to be okay with it for 150 years. And then to try and make it come forward to the public, but to have people not believe it. That was hard to see too. So with the discovery of the unmarked graves at Kamloops, I'm happy about it and I'm sad at the same time. So I'm really glad that it's come out, but I'm also really proud. I'm so proud of the fact that we are able to have an Orange Shirt Day and to teach children and adults, the Canadians, about the meaning behind Orange Shirt Day and what we would like it to be in the future. Because this is something to be aware of, to learn the true history of Canada, but to be proud of who we are now and to make sure this never ever happens to anybody again. And also to work towards making a better Canada by making it better for First Nation people, for Indigenous people of Canada. Because the better off all Canadians are, the better Canada will be. And I really look forward to that day.
We thank teachers and students for using the classroom resources and activities that we've sent out to continue to learn and engage in this important work. Together we commit to learning the truth and engaging in the ongoing process of reconciliation. We remember and honour residential school survivors and their families.